Hey there, thanks for stopping back again. And today's video is going to be, I guess, what you would consider to be a money saving tip. Or, there's going to be quite a few tips in this video all combined. It's about how to save money or how to negotiate the price of a car. A lot of people really don't like going to car dealers. They feel like they're getting ripped off. And, there are a lot of hidden costs at the car dealer. And sometimes people think they're getting a great deal and they're really not. But the other thing is you really need to understand how a car dealer makes money and then use it to your advantage. So let's just start from the beginning. The first thing is you have to figure out what car you like, and go to all the car dealers, drive them. Don't use that as the time to talk about prices necessarily. So what you want to do is just first see what car you like, and then once you've narrowed it down to one or two cars, it could be different manufacturers, two different models, that's when you start really diving into price. So there are plenty of online, I don't really want to mention them, but you could look at places like Edmunds and cars.com and a few other places, and a lot of the automakers' websites, if you want to trust the numbers they put there, will put the prices of the vehicles and the options and what invoice is. Now, we have to assume that when they list invoice cost, that it's inflated and it's not the real cost, but that's really all you have to go by at this point. So find a site that you like, that you feel is providing you with the most up-to-date information on the vehicle, and get invoice and MSRP for the base model, the model that you're interested in, and then all of the options and the invoice cost and the MSRP for all of those options, and put it on an Excel spreadsheet so you can keep track. Because when you start shopping for cars after that, you're going to see one car that might be $300 more than the other one, but that one might have an entertainment package or towing package or who knows what. So that's why it's important to understand the cost of each one of those options, because if you don't, you could just get lost in the whole thing and not really truly understand whether you're getting the best deal or not. So again, first you need to understand what all of your costs are. So then when you're in the car dealer, you want to negotiate the cost of the car itself, not talk about payments, especially if you're looking at a lease. A lot of people make the mistake of talking about payments, and that's not what you want to do. So you just want to talk about the cost of the car, and don't get into anything else at that point, just the cost of the car. Don't start talking about what the other dealer is offering it for yet. Just talk about the cost of the car. I wouldn't even talk about trades at that point. They're going to ask you that, because trades is another spot where they can make money, and they might appear as though they're giving you a lot for your trade, but then offset it on the other side with the cost of the car. So you don't want to talk about trades. In fact, if you do want to trade, you bring it in at the end after you've negotiated the cost of the car. Okay? And before you even do that, if you know you want to trade your car, you should also be shopping to see what the true cost of your car is that you own, that you are wanting to trade. Find out what the real and average trade value is for that vehicle. Have that in your back pocket. Do not bring that out on the table when talking about the price of the car. You just want to know the price that you can buy that car for. Okay. The other thing is they might ask you whether you're financing. You tell them you're a cash buyer. Whether you are or you aren't, you tell them you're a cash buyer. If you want to finance, or whether you don't, you leave that discussion later for finance. Don't talk about that at all with the salesperson. Okay. Now you've got a price of a car. Now you want to go into finance and talk to the finance person. They have a lot of different things happening in there, between warranties and all these other things that they try to sell you, and that's a profit center for them. This is where they're making a lot more money. So where you could negotiate the cost of the car down now is in the loan, whether you need a loan or not. For example, if you are a cash buyer and you know you can pay cash for it, you ask them, how much can I lower the price of the car if I finance this? And watch what happens. The finance manager or the finance person you're speaking with will be able to reduce the cost of the car. I did that when I bought my wife's car. It was about 2 years ago, and we were cash buyers. But I asked the finance person, what can I do that will lower the cost of the car? And the finance manager said, well, if you finance the car, then I can take about, I think it was $1,500 or $2,000 off the cost of the car. It was significant. So I said, all right, now let me ask you this. Is there a prepayment penalty? Can I finance this and then right away pay it off? And they said, well, yeah, but you know what? You need to hold on to that loan for 30 days so that way we get paid by the bank. And what he said was, and what I'll do is, not only will I take off that price of the price of the car that I told you about, but I'll also lower the price by the full interest you would pay in the first 30 days. So 30 days later, paid off the loan 100%, and I had the lower price in the car. So that's another example of how you can do that. Also, even if you really did want to finance the vehicle, you can just tell them that that you won't be a cash buyer and maybe you will finance it, etc. And then the interest rate's negotiable. Hopefully you have really good credit, because then you have an option with the interest rate. They make money based on the rate that they charge you also. So that was the other thing that, my credit happened to be really good, but I said to him, look, well, if you're getting compensated because you're charging me a higher rate, then charge me the highest rate possible, take the most off the car, and then move on from there. So while you're in the finance department, you can talk about warranties and other things. Maybe I personally love extended warranties if it's a car that I'm going to hold on to forever, but I also love it only if the price is right. So you might be able to negotiate that as well. They want to sell you a warranty, but maybe they can offset it on the cost of the car or something else, because they do have a cost for that. I'm not exactly sure what it is. If you're in the auto business, please comment below. Is it about half if you're in the finance department? But I'm going to guess about half the cost of the warranty that they want to charge you is really what the true cost is. So hopefully that these auto buying tips will help you. Remember, I'll recap, okay? Research the prices online, understand all the costs of the models and the options, negotiate the cost of the car. Don't talk about payments. Payments can be done later. And don't talk about trades until later. And tell them you're a cash buyer until you get into finance. So that was really the basics. There could be more intricate details to get the price of the car down, but those are the basics that I would recommend to you. If you have any questions, just please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.